No, I've just heard you speak on it on a couple live feeds.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm certainly not against it. I'm not.
Do you take anything?
No, I don't. Although, sometimes there's this guy.
Should you?
Eric. I've thought about it at some point because I'm like, okay. The thing is, here's my thing. If I took it and I bumped myself up, I think there'd be a noticeable 10 pounds of muscle gain.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because I know the way.
Of course there would be.
I know the way that I like to lift weights, and if I could lift weights and do twice as much volume that I'm doing now because it would feel better. So it would not only be the TRT, I would be adding volume, and
because you'd be able to handle the
because
volume.
I'd be able to handle it because I like it, and I know I could pack on some muscle.
Let's do it. Let's turn Dr. Meme Doctor into a beast.
So here's a funny thing. I thought about like, okay, everybody, there's a lot of stigma around testosterone and anabolic steroids, and I'm Mr. Anti, like, no, don't do drugs, steroids and whatever. But I thought about this like, okay, I look the way I am now. Wouldn't it be? It would be a cool YouTube series. I think I'd get my license removed though. I'm pretty sure because it's illegal. But like, what if I did an experiment? Like, here's exactly what I'm going to take. I don't advocate for anybody else. Let's actually see what happens.
That would be awesome.
How would you lose your license?
Yeah, what if somebody else did it for you? What if somebody else prescribed it, your wife or something?
Yeah, you can't.
Why is the baby doctor giving you nandrolone? I've thought about it just from a purely entertainment, but selfish way, because it's like I love lifting weights and like.
But legally, I mean, I don't know. Legally, if you have another doctor check your stuff and prescribe it, I mean, legit.
Testosterone,
right?
Yes, but then nandrolone is technically.
No, yeah.
So then I could probably get nandrolone. In fact, I know doctors that are handing it out. I could probably go get on testosterone and some nandrolone.
I don't know about nandrolone, but
I've heard it feels good.
My clinic has access to a lot of things.
Yeah.
But none of the horse meds. The actual stuff. Like legit.
Yeah. Like so that's oxandrolone, Anavar, and then like the nandrolone.
Yeah.
They can still prescribe those. I don't even know how like you'd get that. But I thought about like.
You want just 100 milligrams of test.
Just 100. Well, I'm about like 600 milligrams per deciliter or nanograms per deciliter when you check my levels. I hover around.
So
there.
At 37 at 600.
Yeah, it's not bad. Feel
naturally, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Feel pretty good. And so like, I feel like, okay, you bump me up to 1200. And then if you throw in just a touch of nandrolone, I'm like 10, 20. I guarantee I've 10, 20 pounds of just lean mass. You'd see it in my shoulders right now.
Yeah.
Like, I have decent shoulders, but like the shoulders,
the shoulder caps just pop.
shoulder, they just go boom, and my traps would go like you would see it. And my waist would a little bit. Like, I probably wouldn't do anything for my calves, which are tiny, but which would be unfortunate. I'd look even more like a Dorito or whatever. But I've always thought about it, but I don't. If there becomes a time where it's like the quality of life is low. Like my libido's good and everything. Like so.
Yeah, if you're good now, then there's no need.
Yeah,
but you hit 40 in a few years, and it starts to go down. Then why? Why be? My whole point. Why be miserable? Especially if you can do it in a healthy way and keep your cholesterol and keep everything going.
I know. So it's a great question.
Yeah.
Well, so women who go through menopause.
That was my next thing, was
question.
bringing the same question about obesity in women, but with hormones as well.
So you go through menopause.
Because all women can't lose weight because of their hormones. I didn't know if you knew that.
I know. I read that in a meme somewhere.
Yeah, I read that on an Instagram meme somewhere.
So you go through menopause. It's a natural thing. Your ovaries stop. There it is.
That's what it's like.
It's so some people will say it's not natural. No, it's going to happen. You're not going to have your estrogen forever. You're not going to have eggs forever. And we don't replace everybody. It's only in people who have symptoms. So some people go through it very gracefully. And those are the people lifestyle is very important with that too. People who age gracefully, lifting weights and eating what I'd consider a whole food type of satiating, high nutrient dense diet tend to do pretty well. But some people don't, and then we give them, if it's not what we call contraindicated, meaning we can't do it for cancer reasons, breast cancer or whatever, maybe strokes or something like that, we can give them hormone replacement therapy to stop the hot flashes, irritability, and all that thing that makes life miserable. So in guys, there's not the same, they call it andropause or we could call it menopause. I don't know. There's all sorts of things that people say. There's not that natural thing, but and some people are like, are we pathologizing this slow decline in our testosterone? Well, some people do. Some people have lower testosterone, feel fine, but then it's like some people don't. And so like, ideally we'd improve their lifestyle and maybe that will help. But then what if we bumped them up? And I have patients where I've done it both ways. I've bumped them up to 1,200. They're free to everything's high, and they're like, I don't feel any different.
That's so crazy.
And it's like,
I'm so in tune with that
isn't that
part
weird?
of my life.
But that's because you have hypogonadism. But that's also because you actually had
Okay.
You know
that
what I'm
makes
saying?
sense. Yeah.
So like you knew what it felt like.
And then I came off for 8 months so we could have a baby, which I didn't realize that I didn't need to come completely off.
Yeah. It was so bad.
She wanted to leave me.
Were you using HCG?
Towards the end,
because
and something else.
At the time, he was with a different clinic. The guy didn't give him a rundown on
He
like
just
these
said
are
quit.
your options. He said just cut
quit.
it off, and it was so bad.
Not the clinic with not core medical group, not the ones I'm with now, but my old clinic.
And that is some. I don't know how long you were on it before you tried.
6-7 years.
Yeah, I mean you can't. So it is. It's something you can just quit, and a lot of people bump up. But you had hypogonadism in the first place.
Fucking miserable.
Yeah, so that's the thing. You had hypogonadism in the first place.
Wasn't
just quitting.
sleeping. Wasn't able, like no appetite.
I would work out and I would be sore for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean because you had hypogonadism. I mean it was just that low. Whereas some people they were put on it inappropriately. Probably you were not. People that get put on inappropriately, you stop them and like they bounce back pretty quickly, and then they're fine. But for someone like you, I mean, they should have offered you a HCG, I think.
Well, so eventually they did, and then actually no, the person who did it was the person who did my surgery because he went in and because I had a vasectomy.
Urologist.
Yeah, so he went in and cut me open and pulled all the babies out.
We did a Tessie procedure instead of a reversal because they had been so long since he'd had the vasectomy. It was like over 14 years. So he did this Tessie procedure. They pull it out, and then that's why we had to do IVF.
Millions of babies sitting on ice somewhere. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right? It's crazy. And now we have a redheaded child.
Wow.
And,
look at that. Look at that.
Science, man. So so anyways, he put me on HCG after once I got in touch with him because I came off to get ready because I knew I wanted to produce. So he put me on HCG and then Clomid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he
there
said,
you go.
yeah,
Boom.
and he went in.
How'd you feel on that without the testosterone?
I started to feel better. You know what actually made a big difference was vitamin D and zinc.
You just messed your microphone.
I know it's like a $700 microphone too.
pouring Fresco.
Pouring Fresco on there. Just artificial sweetener all over my microphone. Yeah, so I vitamin D and zinc. A buddy of mine, Josh, my partner, he said, I called him. I said, dude, listen, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And he had gone through the same thing.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, what are you, he talked about supplementation. And I don't know why I overthought it or didn't think about it. But he's like, are you taking any vitamin D? Are you doing anything? I said, no. He said, I'll order you some from Thorne and go from there. And actually, that did help.
So
but once HCG and Clomid, I started to feel more normal. Not good, but
better.
But I could get through my day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thing because if you have primary hypogonadism at the level of your testicles, the HCG, it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have done anything. Because if your balls don't work, there's nothing to stimulate them.
Yeah.
But because it's more of your brain and your pituitary at that level, they call it secondary. Having that HCG is like the signal from your brain, the LH, the luteinizing hormone.
Yeah.
Stimulating. So
that's with the hormone. Because, so it's when I went to the brain clinic, he goes, how is the quality of your orgasms?
Uh-huh.
And he was a doc that worked with a lot of special operators, a lot of Navy SEALs, all the guys that have books written about him or have written books have been through his clinic as well. And he goes, how's the quality of orgasm? He's like, you putting holes in sheetrock or you just like dribbling out or like, is it strong or is it like, just take it or leave it? And he said, because your luteinizing hormone is really low.
See, there you go. Secondary hypogonadism.
Yeah.
Kind of classic textbook, I would say.